Now we're going to do two things. We are going to send a transaction on Sepolia on this testnet to actually see what it looks like. However, getting testnet Sepolia, even though it's free, getting this test assets can be very challenging. So before we do that, we're actually going to set up our wallet with something called a Tenderly virtual testnet. Now, this is a testnet just like Sepolia, except for we basically control it. So Tenderly will get us set up with our own custom private testnets, and we will use that to send a transaction. And that will be pretty much 99.9% the exact same as sending a real test transaction. If you want, optionally, you can go the extra mile and try to send a testnet transaction as well. Now, I will tell you right now, getting testnet funds is very difficult. In the GitHub repo associated with this course, if you scroll down in here, there are some optional faucets that are listed in here, and these are some of the places to go to try to get testnet assets. But like I said, we're first going to be working specifically with this Tenderly virtual network to get this going. So let's first actually send our first transaction by actually setting up our own virtual testnet. So yeah, we're literally going to spin up our own mini blockchain right now. So first we have to actually set up a new testnet for you, and then we can actually send a transaction. So back in this little networks tab here, right, we have all these different networks that we can use. And at the bottom, we added test networks. We're going to add in a new fake blockchain that we're going to make from Tenderly. So what I want you to do is I want you to come to the GitHub repo associated with this course, and we'll scroll down on in here, and we're going to go over to the Tenderly virtual signup link, and we want to click this link. So Tenderly has helped sponsor Cypher and Updraft, and it's because of sponsors like them that allows us to keep this platform completely free. And also, Tenderly makes it much, much, much easier for us to show you what it feels like to send a real transaction. So if you click this link, this will tell Tenderly that you came from Cypher and Updraft, so they'll keep paying us money so we can keep this content free. So please click this link and sign up here. So we're going to go here. We're going to sign on up for Tenderly, put an email, username, and password. And once you go ahead and sign up, I'm going to go ahead and skip personalization so we can get right into creating a virtual testnet, where you get dropped into the dashboard for Tenderly. And what we're going to do on the left-hand side is we're going to look for this section called Virtual Testnets. And we're going to select this. We're going to select Create Virtual Testnet. Now, some of the parameters in here might change by the time you watch, but that's okay. You can kind of get away with picking almost anything and you'll be fine. So for select parent network, I'm actually going to choose Sepolia, but you can choose Ethereum mainnet, doesn't really matter. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it my chain. I am going to set a custom chain ID of 111.555.111, but you can do, if you want to leave it to default, that's fine too. Public Explorer, I'm going to keep off for now. You can leave fork on, and we'll go ahead and hit create. Oh, and in order to get an extended trial, the Tenderly team has graciously offered to give an extended trial for anybody who sends Cypherin 2024 or maybe 2025. So send that message to them as well, and they will extend your free trial so that you can use all these cool resources. But in any case, now that we have our chain set up here, we basically have this kind of fake little blockchain right in our Tenderly dashboard, and we can add it to our MetaMask. All we have to do is select Add to Wallet. And your MetaMask will pop up and says, connect this site with MetaMask. This site wants to see your accounts and suggest transactions. That's totally fine. And use your enabled networks. That's also totally fine. We'll go ahead and hit connect. We'll connect here. And then it'll say add Tenderly my chain, and it'll add all the details of our new chain here. So we'll go ahead and approve. And now if we go back to our MetaMask, either in our browser or in our browser extension here, you can see we've added a new chain. We have this Tenderly my chain in here now as well. And in order for us to get some test Ethereum to send our first transaction, we can actually just copy our address, and back in Tenderly, we can scroll down and look for this fund account. I'm going to hit fund account here. I'm going to paste our address in here for 1,000 ETH. I'm going to hit fund. And if we scroll down, we should see account successfully funded. If we go back to our MetaMask, either in the browser or in the browser tab, and we wait for maybe a minute or two for it to update, we'll actually see that amount reflected in our MetaMask here. And after a brief delay, we can see we have been given 1,000 ETH in our MetaMask. Now, of course, remember, this is a fake virtual testnet, so it's not real money. I mean, that would be great if we just got 1,000 ETH for nothing, right? This is how we can actually get some ETH in order for us to send our first transaction. Now, what's cool is that technically you have already sent your first transaction. If you look in your MyChain virtual testnet again, and you scroll down, you can see there was this add balance function that was called. And if you click on that, this itself was actually a transaction that the system sent. Now, it's probably not that compelling because, again, like it's through this UI and we didn't send it in our MetaMask, but let's show you what it would be like to send a real transaction with your MetaMask. Because in your MetaMask, if you just were to switch to Ethereum, have some Ethereum here, you would literally hit send and you would send money. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to switch from Ethereum to the Tenderly chain, and we're going to send money to a different account. So we can actually send money to another account in our MetaMask. So if we click this little account dropdown, we can actually create a new account by hitting add account, add a new Ethereum account, add account. So now if we hit this dropdown, we have account 1 with the $3 million or the 1,000 ETH. And obviously this 3 million number will be different when you watch this video, but we have account 2 with $0, right? So these two are different accounts. They have different private keys in our MetaMask. But in any case, we can send money from account 1 to account 2. And all we have to do is hit send. We'll say from account 1, and we can just click account 2, or we could paste in account 2's address. I'm just going to click here. Let's say we want to send 1 ETH. I'll continue. We'll get a little review of our transaction here. I'll confirm. And we'll get this little sending thing here. And after a brief delay, we will see confirmed, and this will actually send our transaction. And if we look in our MetaMask here, we go back to the tokens tab, we see that our account 1 now has 999 ETH. And if we go to account 2, it now has 1 ETH. So we've successfully sent our first transaction. This is so exciting. And if we go back to our Tenderly website, we can scroll down in this Explorer tab, and we can see, we do a refresh page, we scroll down, we can see this list at the bottom is a list of all the transactions that have been sent. And these grayed out ones, you can ignore those. Those are transactions from the forked chain. Don't worry about that for now. But these ones that aren't grayed out are the ones that we sent. And this most recent one is the one that we sent. If we click on this too, we can actually see all the details about this transaction that we just sent. So if we scroll down here, we can see all the details. We see, okay, it was sent from this address. Let me just double check. Is that this address? Copy, search. Yep. Okay. From our address, from account 1. Let's see. It says to account 2. Let's copy account 2's address. So it says to account 2. Yep. Okay. It looks like it was to account 2 for 1 ETH. And then there's the raw data down here. And this would be your first transaction ever. Now, just doing this, even though this is a simulation, this is on a virtual testnet, you should be incredibly proud of yourself because that is exactly how you send money in the blockchain, in the Ethereum, in the EVM world.